This is the end of the beginning. Welcome to today's show. Yet another summertime hangout for all the rich globalist elites. If there was ever a time we could use lightning and a tsunami to strike in the same place at the same time, it would be here, right? Oh, I'm just kidding, of course. That's just a joke. I'm just making a joke. I don't really want that to happen when Mark Zuckerberg, Rupert Murdoch, all these rich elites, Oprah. I would never want that to happen when they were all in the same building with Bill Gates at the same time. Lord, please help us. So, Sun Valley 2023, the guest list includes all these big tech companies. So what do you think big tech is doing together? What are they talking about? Well, they're just going to tell you that they're playing golf. They're making secret merger acquisitions. Or are they just letting everyone know what the next big plan is to ruin our lives and take control of our freedoms? That's really what they're all doing together. Of course, we know they meet at the Bilderberg meeting. We know they meet in Davos at the World Economic Forum. We know they meet at the Bohemian Grove, which is very hard to get information on these days. They really have to be meeting super secret. But here at Sun Valley, they just kind of pretend like, hey, you know what? They're going to play a little golf. They're going to talk about stock sliding. They're going to talk about the newest movies that Netflix is going to roll out when Tim Cook and Bill Gates are side by side, doing their very best to let everybody out there know that they love to ride that Hershey Highway to Hershey Park, Pennsylvania, of course. And all of them will be together, of course, dictating our future. So the truth of the matter is, these people are getting together so that they can discuss what's next and to know what to censor for, right? Zuckerberg and all the Google tech guys, letting everybody know all together, hey, this is what's going to happen in the fall, and this is the stuff that we need to put into the algorithm to make sure that anyone who discusses it gets taken off of the platforms, from Facebook to Google to Twitter to you name it. And of course, one of the funny things about these events is they have to continue this perception that they have out there that Elon Musk is here to save the day. So all of a sudden, Elon Musk has gone to every one of these meetings, kind of like Trump. They're playing the same role, right? He's gone to every meeting all the time. Now he's not going to the Met Gala. Now he's not invited to the Sun Valley Conference, Davos. He's not invited anymore because he made Twitter a free speech platform, supposedly, which it still is not. Right? Just like Trump, he used to go to all these events, and now he's not invited either because they're fighting the establishment? No, because they're playing a role to lure in suckers who are going to believe in them and follow what they say and do, which is, again, is about dividing us and splitting this nation into two. So, gas up the Learjets, the article says, and break out the Montclair vests. It's time for corporate chieftains to let their hair down, as only 1% of the 1% knows how. Don't mention, by the way, this is Variety I'm reading from. Don't mention about those Learjets and the climate pollution, because of course we know that with all these big companies there, they're going to be talking more about climate change. It's probably the next thing that they want to censor big time because they don't do a huge job of censoring the climate agenda. Because they think that, well, because a lot of the conservatives who are out there who are talking heads still for the elites, like the Russell Brands, the Ben Shapiros, those people still are like, well, climate change is real. It's just not as serious. They make it to be like a cult, too serious a thing. They still want to lure people into, having carbon emissions be tracked and monitored, but pretending just like Fox News did with the magic potion, where they came out and they said, well, we don't think it should be forced on everyone, but we highly recommend you get it. And we all have it here at Fox. So then all those people, especially the older crowd of people who watch Fox News, all went and got it because, the Tucker Carlsons of the world all told them to go get it. But they did it in a different way. Remember, this is a psychological operation that's being done on the masses. You can't have every voice use the same exact narrative and the same exact tone in telling people to do what they want them to do. So they lead them in different ways and make them feel like they're still empowered. And that's what Fox News' job is. That's what Trump's job is. That's what Elon Musk's job is. They're luring and hurting society. So Meta chief Mark Zuckerberg probably just dropped off a UFO. Warner Brothers Discovery honcho David Zalev, Paramount Global Chair Shari Redstone, Google CEO Sundar Pichai, Apple head Tim Cook, Bill Gates, all of them, Oprah Winfrey, are heading to Idaho this week to celebrate their summer camp for moguls, known more formally as Sun Valley. Bob Iger is back at the throne of Walt Disney, right? So they love to pretend Like all these people are meeting, and then they say, well, they're meeting in secret. Well, what in the world could they possibly be meeting about in secret? They're talking about, hey, we're gonna make a new Pinocchio movie. Oh, are you? Hey, here over at Netflix, we're gonna make a new Nightmare on Elm Street. It's called Real Life. Oh, is that what they're talking about? They're like, oh, we're gonna have a private acquisition. We can't do it over the phone. We have to meet here in secret. We're going to acquire this small tech company and it's going to have an app on it and we're going to put it into our company. Oh, that sounds great. Oh, that's not what's happening. They're meeting in secret so they can discuss what the next agendas are, and they need to make sure that the tech companies are all together so that they can all have the same narrative and then attack any narrative that speaks against it, because that's how all this works. That's what they meet for. They don't meet because we've elected these people to be here. They meet so that they could suppress real information, which is what they do, which you might know a few YouTubers who have been canceled millions of times, continue to fight, but have been canceled millions of times for actually exposing what these agendas are. So they'd have to figure out how to suppress truth and what, vacuum to keep people's hive minds trapped inside of so they could push and spew the same untruthful misinformation, which is everything on the news. That's the real misinformation. If nobody's figured that out yet, well, that's over for them because they're too far gone. So they say they'll be mixing and mingling with other media barons, Silicon Valley heavyweights, and political players at the Media Finance Retreat, hosted by Allen and Company, among those getting tapped to dust off their Brooks Brothers casual wear. I love how these people write these articles. This person's just like, oh, I'm going to put in like these Brooks Brothers casual wear. I'm so cool and hip and neat. I mean, get a life, really. They're promoting this like, oh, the rich are getting together. Don't be jealous. They're getting together and they're going to golf and have caviar. Oh, they're getting together to continue plotting the demise of society. If nobody's noticed, our society is in absolute chaos worldwide, around the entire earth. Everywhere. Chaos ensuing everywhere. And who's at the forefront of controlling the minds of the people? The media and tech companies. So, they're meeting together, right? They're going to tell us about how they're going to make a new Fantasia, apparently. We're going to make Mickey Mouse is going to come out of the closet this year. Well, that's probably true. They are discussing that. But of course, that's not what's really being discussed. And of course, Warren Buffett is there, right? So investment giants like Warren Buffett, who's coming right out of Boys Town in Nebraska. Oops, not allowed to say that. Former American Express chief Kenneth Chenault, LinkedIn co-founder, Greylock Partners exec Reid Hoffman, Annex Capital, Facebook investors. So all of these people that nobody really knows about, other than, of course, the mainstays, right? We all know Gates because he's involved in everything, right? Nobody's suspicious. Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, those guys. Then you get all these other people, right? We know Warren Buffett, obviously. But you get some of these other people, you're like, wait a minute, why is the CEO of American Express there? What does that have to do with tech companies and Netflix and Disney? Oh, right. This is communism. This is how it works. So most members of the press are kept roped off from the guests who ignore their shouted questions, but secretly love being photographed, walking the paths around the resort, confabbing with other masters of industry. I mean, can somebody find the guy who wrote this article, really? I mean, I can't say what I'd like to do, but a few lucky people of the Fourth Estate do get a golden ticket, often serving as moderators for the off-the-record discussions. Now, why would they be off the record, right? Why are they off the record? What are they talking about that's so bad? I mean, if they're supposedly talking about mergers, people have to know, right? These are publicly traded companies. So what are they talking about that they don't want anyone to know about? Oh, you mean this suppression that's not really happening, but it's happening, and then when they admit that it's happening, how they're taking away free speech, it's really about combating disinformation, because disinformation is dangerous. You know, all the people who saved lives by keeping people away from certain things a few years ago, of course, still no one gets credit for. All of the stuff that we all did to try to save lives by keeping people, away from poison, but they still don't admit to that, of course, because why would they? They still want people to poison themselves. So the Washington Post, let's see, who else do we have? New York Times, right? And again, I've always emphasized on this, because these are the people in the shadows. The editors of the New York Times, the Washington Post, all of these people that you never would have heard of or know about, they're all there because they all have the same exact hive mind narrative, right? Of course, the liberal people out there can't see that because they're just, they're literally have the brains of I would say an infant, but that's insulting to an infant. So the free press, they claim, is there. Oprah Winfrey's going to be there. Cool. What's Oprah doing there? Netflix chairman Reed Hastings will likely make the trip, along with Ted Sardanos and Greg Peters. the appointed CEO of the streamer this year, who appointed co-CEO of the streaming service this year. Other Hollywood and Silicon Valley players include Casey Wasserman, whose sports marketing and talent management company, Wasserman, is close to a deal to acquire Brilliston Entertainment Partners. Oh, really interesting. So what does that tell you? Well, it just tells you that by having these sports marketing companies there, well, who do you think controls does the social engineering for these, LeBron Jameses of the world, tells them what to say and how to act, huh? Right? We've all noticed over the years the turnoff that sports has become because of all these celebrity athletes that are forcing BLM and all this other stuff down everybody's throats, all done by design. So, yeah, we're going to have the heads of sports marketing companies, Microsoft, you name it, they'll be there. But what could they be meeting about? Does anybody know? Because we also have an Oscar-winning producer, Brian Grazer, is going to be there. Oh, cool. What's he doing there? What does he have to do with the price of eggs being sold this morning? Oh, bro, Brian has everything to do with it, because Brian's got to put woke communist propaganda in his stuff, just like the guy from Netflix, just like the guy from American Express, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if there was ever a place where we would arrest people for crimes against humanity, it would probably be right here at Sun Valley. If we're not going to go to Davos and arrest these people, well, when we're going to be on American soil, because Bilderberg's not usually here, right? And these UN things are usually in Switzerland, and Bohemian Grove is completely shut off. Well, maybe we all should just go to Idaho and make citizens arrests, because, citizens arrests are real. They are allowed. Now, these people have a military force with them of brainwashed Manchurian candidates that are protecting them. But I would think that this would be a place where the entire building should be put under arrest. Should they not? These are people who are plotting. That's what a real conspiracy is, a plot, right? So they go like a conspiracy theory. Well, the real conspiracy is these people meeting in secret who run all these corporations, and they're pretending like we're supposed to believe that they're talking about mergers and acquisitions when they're talking about what's the next agenda. How do we brainwash people into climate change? How do we brainwash people into electric cars? We need to add an electric car to every single thing now, right? Oh, what did they do in the past? Oh, they added a certain character in every show that really loved Hershey Kisses and driving down that highway and packing that fudge. And look at where we're at now. How did that work? It worked out the way they wanted it to. Oh, they added all those kids to those shows, making them act like adults. And look where we're at now. We're treating five-year-olds as adults, where they can make decisions about their gender. And if their parents don't like it, the kid can leave the house and be removed, right? So they're plotting and planning all the things that they're subliminally going to put in all these shows. And, of course, Google and those people who do make crap content are making sure that the people who made their platforms like YouTube are going to be censored, and the algorithm is going to be able to read what the next agenda is. So this time around, they don't have to worry about trying to search for all the people who are talking about the outbreak. This time, they'll just be whatever the name of the outbreak is, which they already know what it is, will be put into the algorithm, and every time a video is uploaded with that word in it, and the algorithm hears that word, it'll go right to headquarters, and they'll take the channel down and suppress the free speech or flag the channel permanently. You know how it works. So that's what they're doing there. They're committing crimes on American soil against American citizens. And really, they're committing it against the citizens all around the world, right? They like to call them global citizens, but we call them citizens of different countries because we're not globalists. But this is what they do at their secret meetings, and they continue to get away with it. And Bill Gates just seems to be at every single one, and no one's suspicious. Just like malaria, right? Texas and Florida. Hey, Bill, didn't you just send out billions of GMO mosquitoes? Oh, but that's a conspiracy you're talking about. Oh, okay, so this guy randomly makes GMO mosquitoes and malaria appears in these states where he releases them. And right, you're not allowed to think like that. You're not allowed to put one and one together. Of course not. You have to be a hive-minded liberal, not play connected dots with this stuff when it's so obvious what's going on. So let's let them all meet together. Of course, Elon Musk isn't there. Why would Elon be there? It's all the tech giants, but Elon's not invited because Elon believes in free speech, right? According to the media, of course. We know that that's not true. We know he's playing his role with his fake SpaceX, with his Neuralink Mark of the Beast technology. So we know he's playing his role, but they want to make sure they tell you that Elon's not going to be there because they want conservatives out there to look at him like they look at Trump and say, oh, they're turning on the establishment. They're the ones we need to look to for help and advice and follow. They're going to lead us to the promised land when they're going to lead you to the pit. When the reality is the citizens should be looking at each other, liberal, conservative, whatever, and stopping these people from meeting in private and doing these things and dictating our lives. But that doesn't seem to be what's happening, does it? So they'll be there, they'll meet, they'll plot, They'll do all sorts of illegal activity, and you know there's going to be a lot of illegal activity. You could go look at the movie Sounds of Freedom and think about, well, it's a boogeyman over in Colombia or wherever it takes place, and third world countries. No, it'll be right there in Sun Valley. I would think Warren Buffett's still in there. Anyone wondering how Warren Buffett's so rich? Oh, he made the right investments. Wink, wink. Warren Buffett just happened to make the right investments. He invested in Apple before it became Apple. Oh, right. And he's also butt buddies with Bill Gates, right? Oh, no. Actually, Warren Buffett was responsible and is still responsible for Boys Town, right? And the Franklin cover-up. And what was going on there? Oh, that was happening on American soil. But you can't talk about those stories, of course. Those are conspiracy theories, all proven factual. Back when the Washington Post actually covered real news, it was even in there. But, Warren Buffett's there. There's going to be no illegal activity underground going on there. Of course not. Can't imagine how many, well, I can't say, but how many youth are going to be in the area for these sick, absolute monsters who are all there, of course, thinking that they're untouchable and protected and that the citizens will never get smart enough to realize what they're doing. But the hope is that they do. The hope is that I can continue to help people wake up to what's going on. And you can help people wake up to what's going on by either telling them yourselves or sharing my videos or sharing other people that you like who talk about the same topics. Because that's the only way it's going to be stopped. They feel untouchable. They're literally doing this stuff, talking about the climate change, climate agenda, putting more of that stuff in all their movies and TV shows while they're all flying there in private jets. And if we go by their science of carbon emissions, one flight on a private jet is like the equivalent to a lifespan for the rest of us, each individual of, carbon emissions, right? But they ignore that because they're like, well, we need to meet together, right? What did John Kerry say? We need to get together because we're saving the world. So it's worth the risk. Oh, it is. You're actually ruining the world. And anyone out there, you can ask a liberal, you can ask a conservative, you can ask anyone. Everybody is miserable right now. Everybody is looking around angry at everybody else. And nobody's going, well, why are we all of a sudden so angry and hostile? Oh, the world's become hostile. Well, who's made it hostile? The media's made it hostile. The movies have made it hostile. The news has made it hostile. These politicians have made it hostile. These celebrities have made it hostile. All these tech gurus are the ones who have caused this. And they're the ones that are making everybody feel miserable. They're the ones responsible. They're the ones committing the crimes against humanity, and they're the ones that need to be stopped. A reminder, please subscribe to my backup channel if you haven't. If you like rants like this, I highly recommend you do so because, this probably won't be around much longer, but of course, it's always the website, which I can't mention, that I'll upload it on at some point in time, probably today or tomorrow, so that in the event it's gone, it's there. But this is what's going on, folks. Summer camp for adults. I mean, they're doing more degenerate activities than kids would do at a summer camp. That's for sure. And these people are, more immature than a child, but they're really just a bunch of psychopaths meeting on American soil, plotting our demise. And they're allowed to get away with it. Pretty incredible. Thank you for being here, everybody. Hope you're doing well. God bless all of you and your families.